Welcome to the Jet Experience. So today, we've got a secret to share. I've been harboring a secret a little bit, and it's time that I share it with you. But I can't say it really loud, so come here. Universal Studios is better than Disneyland. What? I know half of you just freaked out, started yelling at the screen, probably even threw something at your computer or through your phone. So let me explain. It's no surprise that we are huge Disney fans. We go to Disneyland all the time. We are magic key holders, as we have passes to lots of theme parks. But there are a few select reasons that I'm going to share with you all why we think Universal Studios is better than Disneyland. So join us on this experience and we'll get right into it. So one of the very first things that we truly feel Universal does better than Disney, so we are in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, and specifically what I'm referring to is the theming. So we'll take Disneyland for example. They do have Galaxy's Edge in both Disney World and Disneyland, which is great, but then the rest of the park, generally speaking, of Disneyland is just Disney theme, Adventureland, Tomorrowland, Fantasyland, so that's all Disney themed. Whereas what Universal Studios does is they kind of dabble in all of their IPs that they have, or intellectual properties that they either own or have basically licensed, such as Harry Potter, and then of course there's the Simpsons area here, and of course Super Nintendo World, which we're really excited about, which is set to open in around 2023, or maybe even be done by the end of this year, which will have a couple new rides, the whole world themed after Super Mario Brothers and Nintendo World in general. Its progress is coming along really, really well, and we're super excited for it to open. I do always love coming into the Wizarding World every time I come to Universal Studios, even if I don't ride at either of the rides, because they only have two here at Universal Studios Hollywood, and there's a little bit more to do in Harry Potter in Orlando. Even if I just walk around, it like truly feels like I've stepped into the pages of the book, onto the screen of the movie. They did a fantastic job of it, kind of like with just the whole park throughout it. So everything about just feeling like you're in the movie or in, you know, like a Hollywood setting is fantastic about this park. So while Disney in general is very child-themed, obviously, Universal tends to seem to be kind of targeted towards a little bit of an older crowd. However, up here in the upper lot, they do have a water park exclusively for children. I mean, I suppose adults could go in it too, but that is just something that Disneyland does not have, is a little water park. So I might get interrupted by some extremely rude minions in the background. They're running around somewhere. I can't find them, but I hear them. So let's get to just the access to the park. Excuse me. So just to get into the park, all we had to do was show up today with our passes, scan them, and come on in. What I'm getting at is no reservations. Initially, I was on board with the reservation system at Disneyland, thinking that it could, keep crowds down a little bit maybe. But then, now that we've been in practice, even though I personally have a dream key, so I have no blackout dates, I kind of do, because some days I want to get a reservation and I just can't get the reservation. So to me, that counts as a blackout date. Universal does not have any reservations, so all you need is a ticket, you show up and you get in. And it might be crowded, but you can still get in no matter what. All right, so while I'm riding my Vespa through Italy here, another reason why, a couple reasons, I'll group them together, why Universal is better than Disneyland, is the ticket situation. So tickets to Universal, should be no surprise, are significantly less expensive than tickets to Disneyland, whether it's a day pass or a season pass. Maybe I'll put some figures below. I don't have them off the top of my head, but we have them both, and I know I spent a lot more on Disneyland. Along with that, Disney recently introduced their Genie Plus, which replaced the Fast Pass situation. And it's got its perks and its benefits, but it's not a perfect situation. Here at Universal, if you have the Platinum Pass like we do, you get the Express Pass, so we get express entrance to each ride every visit. So we can go every ride, every time we visit Express lane, and then if we want to go in again, we have to go on the regular lane. So that's included in our pass. And unlike the Genie Plus, where you're constantly on your phone, I don't need that for Universal. The phone stays in the pocket, except for when I pull it out to scan when I'm at the ride. I get more heads-up time in the park, and I get to enjoy all of the surroundings, because Disneyland's a great place visually, but the way they're going, it seems like they want you buried in your phone. I know they don't want you to, but that's what it seems like. We're gonna scooter on to the next reason why Universal's better. All right, so the next thing that sets Universal apart, as you can see up here, the studio tour. One of the best things about the Hollywood one specifically is how it's a real-life, everyday working movie studio. So what I just love about the studio tour, besides the fact that you're going through the actual film studio locations, going by the sound stages and the back lot, is just how they have, you know, historic places for like the Bates Motel, actual scenes like the crash scene, the plane crash from War of the Worlds. Every time I take that tour, it just makes me want to go find a job in Hollywood just to be part of that industry, no matter how small the job is, because that's just it. Small job is the wrong thing to say. We'll say minimal job, if you will. Obviously, they need every person that works on a production to make the production happen. So let's go hop on it and we'll check out just some of the things that you can experience on the tour. And the other thing about the tour is you could ride it multiple times every time you come, a couple times a day, and it's likely going to vary and change every single time you take it, because since it's a live studio, sometimes they have to get routed a different way and you see things you've never seen before.
We're now driving into our most recognizable set. We call this Courthouse Square. I have a feeling you probably recognize it as Hill Valley from Back to the Future.
It was actually the back lot of Courthouse Square that inspired the entire climate in the future.
I haven't seen it. No way I'm going to stand on that. I was up there for quite a while.
Back to the Future is not the only iconic production to have filmed here in Courthouse Square. Those are the courthouse steps from To Kill a Mockingbird. The first episode ever of The Twilight Zone filmed right here. Several Key and Peele sketches have filmed here. And there's a new show that I'm putting on the iconic list called Rutherford Falls, which streams on Peacock. It's one of the first shows ever backed by a major network where the writers, the creators, and the lead actress, Janice Schmieding, are all Native American. And it focuses on her character's story. Plus, it's just hilarious, so make sure you check it out.
So one of the things that Universal does very, very well is the shows they have. And one of our favorites and one of the best ones is Waterworld. They are seating right now. We're not going to go in right now and watch it, but this is it's basically like a continuation almost of the movie. The movie got a lot of hate, but the show is fantastic. The only show for Universal that I've seen that I liked better was the Jason Bourne one at Orlando, which is just spectacular use of special effects. But this one is really, really good. If you have not seen it, you definitely need to check it out when you come here. So the final item on our list, which is actually probably the first thing you experienced when you got here, or when you do get here, is what we're looking at here, which is Universal City Walk. Disneyland and Universal Studios both have very similar setups. They have like a shopping and dining area outside of the parks. Disney's, of course, is Downtown Disney. Universal's is City Walk. Although they're similar, I really think City Walk is just a little bit better because there's many more different variety of shops. Not necessarily Universal themed. In fact, like right there is Hot Topics, got nothing to do with Universal. And then the dining selections, there's way more restaurants here. It's basically like its own downtown. Unlike, downtown Disney, it's in the name. There's just so much more to do. You can spend a lot more time here. Whereas everything in downtown Disney, for the most part, besides some of the restaurants, are really just Disney themed. Which if you're just there for Disney, I mean, then that's going to be right up your alley. If I had to compare it size by size, I'm pretty sure that City Walk would actually be quite a bit bigger. And of course, there's the always star of City Walk, just always hanging around, King Kong. So one of the main staples on City Walk that attracts people from all over the world to come in for is Voodoo Donuts. Both Universals, Orlando, and Hollywood have one. You can see their iconic mascot out here, and you can see just the line. All these people, it's all the line to get inside for Voodoo Donuts. They have a huge selection of specialty donuts. In fact, here, I can come up over here and get just a real quick snap of them. Like, just look at that selection. And then a decent amount of them are actually vegan, too, which is a huge selling point, for plant-based and vegan people, is that you can get a bunch of different donuts. All right, so that's going to wrap up our 8-ish, but 8 reasons why you should visit Universal Studios over Disneyland. Now, again, it is not that we don't like Disney. We're huge Disney fans, love Disneyland, absolutely love it. I wouldn't have spent $1,500 on a pass if I didn't. But for certain reasons, again, we just feel that Universal has an edge over Disneyland. So if you're going to make a visit out to Southern California this summer, we definitely recommend Universal Studios over Disneyland. But if you have time and the money to do both, definitely throw both of those in there. And if you agree with us, let us know in the comments below. If you don't agree with us, let us know in the comments below. All we can do as a community is just share our thoughts, and then maybe you'll point out something I didn't think of. So we hope you liked this video. If so, please give us that thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. As always, please be kind and be real, and join us on our next experience.